Matt, how in the world are you?
I'm pretty good. With all the rain that's been going on, it's really been making me not sad or down, but I guess I feel less energetic. That could also just be my sleep deprivation catching up to me, so either one of them, probably the sleep deprivation, but who needs it?
I'll tell you what I don't need. Water going down the wrong tube.
Huh. You got plenty of that going on right now. Also, I love that we're so much closer to fall. It's not fall yet, right?
No. But it is September 1st, and I am so glad that it is here. Is fall your favorite season?
I think Christmas is probably like my favorite holiday season. Fall is my favorite time of the year, just because it's colder. It smells different outside.
Yes,
and it just feels much better outside than it does like at any other time of the year. It's like winter, it feels dead. Spring is just that's just when Tennessee goes crazy, because it's just like, oh, it's hot, no, it's cold, no, it's snowing, no, it's raining, no, it's sunny, no,
yeah.
Back to snowing, now it's hot again, and then summer is just hot and uncomfortable, but fall is just like Tennessee's just gets it right.
It's not the best place to experience fall. That would have to be New England, but you'd have to pay an arm and a leg for everything.
To go to England?
New England.
New England? I could probably go to either one of those. I just have no money when I got back.
That's the idea.
But yeah, since it was like 65 today. It was 65 when I got to work.
But rainy.
Which was at like 2, but that made it even better because it kept it cold. And the whole time I was just like, I would love to just like be outside if it wasn't raining and just like be in my hoodie. And then like before we started the podcast, it felt really cool in the room. So I was like, you know what? Hold on one second. I gotta get something. And I finally got to break out the hoodie again.
I have a hoodie that looks almost just like that. It's gray and red. It just has a logo on the front.
I love wearing hoodies.
I might even take a nap not a nap. I might take a walk in a hoodie after this.
I'm probably gonna go to sleep with this hoodie on tonight. I'm gonna put my fan on and I'm gonna just go to bed. And I'll probably sleep like a baby. You. Never mind. How's your day going?
It's fine. I had today off just because of the extended Labor Day holiday that the company I work for is very graciously gives us, and very happy to have it. So I have a 4-day weekend. Woohoo!
Nice. I get Monday off. I'm happy about that.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
How are you planning on spending that?
I'm actually going to I'm gonna go eat lunch with some buddies of mine who we play League of Legends a lot, but I actually went to middle school and elementary school with them, so I've known them for a while, and I just recently got back in touch with them during the beginning of the summer. So I've already met up with one of the guys a few times during the summer, but I haven't seen the other guys since I was in like 8th grade, so
yeah,
that'll be fun. And
cool.
Then I think after that, I'm gonna go shopping for clothes because I have 2 pairs of shorts, and that's the only thing that I have to wear for like my bottom half. So I need more shorts, and I'll possibly buy a pair of pants. I might also get some new T-shirts because I haven't gone clothes shopping since like last year.
T-shirts are like the one thing that I never have to buy because I always get them. Like either as people don't want them anymore, or I get them as gifts. Never have to buy my own T-shirts.
I usually get cheap T-shirts not cheap T-shirts, but just like ones that don't cost like $25 all the time.
Right.
But they always, I either grow out of them, or they just become like paint shirts. Like I'll end up doing some like busy day work, or I'll be painting and I'll just like, oh well, I could wear that in public, but I'd look like a slob, so guess I won't be wearing that out anymore. So
Well, that's nice.
yeah.
But on to more important things. What you playing?
This week. I think it's just been League this week. It's just been a League week. I haven't.
League week?
Yeah.
Week league.
Week link. Yeah, me and my buddies played the last of Ultra Rapid Fire, otherwise known as Earth, in League of Legends. That ended sometime this week. Can't remember when.
Welcome to Earth.
Yeah. The mascot for Earth? It's a manatee. Don't ask why. I don't know. But it's really fun. You get unlimited mana. None of your abilities cost mana. And your abilities are on like 2 times faster cooldown than they normally are.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like a go out and kill people. So this is a really fun game mode. But it ended this week, so I remember we played a lot of that. Then yeah, it's just been League, and then watching YouTube videos of other people playing video games. Speaking of which, Destiny 2 is starting to intrigue me a bit more. Just because, like, I think the console beta may have been out a while ago, but I think the PC beta just went live the beginning of this week, maybe, or in the middle of the week. And the first mission already looks 10 times better than the first mission was in Destiny 1. And it just looks so much better in every way. And it makes me want to play it makes me want to play it again, which is great because I haven't played a shooter in a long time. And that used to be like my go-to style of game, was FPS games.
Right.
So I'd be into like Halo and Call of Duty, and then the community got toxic. But Destiny is made by Bungie.
A first-person shooter community going toxic?
To be fair, every community's toxic. There's a lot of communities that are toxic.
How? Why?
I don't know.
Maybe because 12 and 13-year-olds have nothing else to do. Their parents certainly aren't raising them. They just stick them in front of a TV and be like, stay here, don't commit crimes.
Hey, 70% of the time it works all the time. But yeah, that Destiny 2 is looking good. Especially because I think I might get it for my new desktop.
I was going to say, first I was thinking maybe you'd get an Xbox One.
No.
You can't get the original Xbox One anymore on retail.
That's okay.
But yeah, I was thinking, oh yeah, that could be his first desktop game.
Well, it comes out, I think it comes out, it's either the 6th or the 8th. One of those is the console release, one of those is the PC release. I forget which one it is, but it's coming out sometime next week, which is kind of exciting. Kind of stinks because there'll probably be game footage out from all the YouTubers I follow, and I'll probably end up watching. Is like,
oh goodness, you.
But just it looks good. But yeah, that's another thing. I guess I should have said in my how you doing segment, but we're doing it now. Sometime in the middle of September, my mom felt bad because she didn't have any kind of furniture to give me when I moved out. So she said that she would help me get a desktop, since one of the bigger reasons why I took a year off from college, which, by the way, I'm taking a year off from college. I don't know if that was
clear.
Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned that or not, but yeah, I'm not going to college this year.
Which is why you've been seeing Matt so much lately.
Yeah. Possibly ever, but we won't talk about that right now. But yeah, but I moved out officially, so I'm super excited about that. But yeah, because she couldn't give me anything, she said that she would help me get a desktop because it would help me with my graphic design, which as soon as I get that, I've already got a few designs that I've sketched out over the summer. I'll be doing something with that later. I'll probably bring that up as soon as I get that done, which probably won't be until probably the end of September. But I'm looking forward to that. But also, it'll let me play video games.
Video games.
And I'll be a part of the PC Master Race.
Please don't.
Which is... no, I'm not going to be that kind of person.
You can only have so many teraflops with your lousy consoles.
You can only have so many friends playing on a computer. I play League of Legends, so I don't have any real friends. That's okay. But yeah, so...
Nobody likes you.
Thanks, Smeagol. Yeah, Destiny 2. I think I'll get it for the desktop, and it'll be really fun. And I'll also be able to play Skyrim finally. And
properly.
As soon as this desktop comes, there's going to be so many things I'll be able to do.
Oh my goodness. There's more than 5 frames a second in this game?
Not only that, like, I tried playing Skyrim on my laptop, this thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
And my render distance can only be like 5 feet in front of me. Because if it's any further, the game just goes from like 720p to like 244.
So basically the same resolution that an NES game plays at.
It's so... Wait, no. I'm
maybe 640 by 480?
I'm confusing pixels with lag. It lags super hard. Not the resolution doesn't get that. The resolution stays the same, but it's like playing Elder Scrolls 2 on my computer, where every time you move, the screen has to change entirely before you can set up the next thing.
Right.
But that's what I've been playing. How about you?
So, playing more of Sonic Mania. I've unlocked all the additional stuff. So, you unlock a lot of stuff in the game. And you do that by, I want to say you have to have about 25 rings, get to a checkpoint, and a portal will open up, and you do the old Blue Sphere special stage from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. And you can get silver coins, and you can get gold coins. You get silver coins by just getting all the blue spheres. You get a gold coin by getting all the rings first. And I've done that, and you unlock a lot of cool things on the way. Like, there's a mode, although the only thing that stinks about the extra stuff you unlock by doing this, for the most part, you have to use it in a no-save file. So basically, you have to start a new game, and you can't save it. And you can use these little extra things because they basically break the game. I mean, you unlock a debug mode, so you can just put a whole bunch of rings on the screen and get 999 rings and just keep it there. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm fine. There's a mode. Probably the coolest thing is there's something called an and Knuckles mode, and it basically replaces Tails with Knuckles when you're playing as Sonic. So you're playing as Sonic and Knuckles.
Why can't you just do that normally?
I don't know.
It's not like Tails is used for anything. I saw you playing earlier this morning, and the only thing Tails was doing is just killing himself.
Granted, they have massively improved his AI since the Genesis games. Trust me, he's actually better now.
Really? Because he kills himself, and then he just flies in from the top just to kill himself again.
Yep, that's Tails. It wouldn't be Tails otherwise. So there's that mode, which is really neat. And then you can actually change Sonic's moveset also. You've got so in Mania, he has a new move called the drop dash. You jump, press jump a second time in the air, hold it down, and you rev up. And you basically do a spin dash in the air. As soon as you hit the ground, you take off like a spin dash. You can change that to have his Sonic 3 weird, I think it was called the double hit move, where you're basically surrounded by like this really quick white flash in the air. And what it actually does is it makes you invincible for like 1 frame. So people who are really good with it can actually like jump through obstacles and not take any damage. It also extends your hitbox a little bit while you're in the air. That's what I've always used it for. And then the other moveset you can set it to is you can unlock his peel out move from Sonic CD, which is basically a spin dash, but you're just running in place. And it's actually neat because it changes his top speed running animation to his Sonic CD running animation, where he's doing like the figure 8 with his feet. So that's everything you unlock. You can also unlock the Mean Bean, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine game, and just play it by itself. You can, of course, unlock Sound Test. The last thing you unlock, which is kind of disappointing because you saw me playing today, getting gold coins is not easy. And the last thing you unlock is basically just the Blue Sphere game that you can play whenever you want.
I don't know why you would. That was hurting my eyes watching you play all those stages. It'd be like 10 seconds of normal Sonic play and then
Everything
just a minute of the Blue Sphere game.
No, I have been playing the special stage Blue Sphere more than the actual game. Well, I started a new game playing as Tails because you can unlock Super Tails and do that. So I'm just not doing the special stage anymore. I'll probably get through the game a lot faster this time. But yeah, Sonic's game is done. Started with Tails. Still playing Pokemon Yellow. I've got the Thunder Badge, which is the third one. I've got Squirtle. Evolved him to a Wartortle. And I'm about to go into the Diglett Cave.
Oh boy.
What? What?
It's just a really long cave with just Diglett.
And the occasional Dugtrio, like 5% chance.
That was always exciting in a Leaf Green, running into a Dugtrio. Because it'd be like, I don't have to train a Diglett. Come here. Because what's better than 1 sausage in the ground? 3 sausages in the ground.
Yeah, that's the one thing about Pokemon when they're just like, it's an evolved form of the Pokemon. It's like, no, it's not. Just 3 of the same Pokemon. Magneton, Dodrio. They do it with a few of them. Yeah. They're garbage anyway.
People always say that Gen 1 is, Gen 1 will always be the best. I'm like, get off your high horse. There's some really cool looking Pokemon in the newer generations. There are bad ones. Don't get me wrong, there's some bad looking ones. But some of those bad looking ones are actually really good.
Well, yeah, I can't really give a fair assessment because I haven't played any other gen except for Gen 1. Also, got some game pickups this last weekend. Now, this doesn't make much sense. I know. I almost bought one when these first came out. But I actually got a pretty good deal. We have a used book store in town called McKay's, but you can actually, they have a lot of video games there too, from all generations, all different kinds. And went over to their hardware center and found this. So, Steven, why would you buy a PlayStation Vita in 2017? Well, you can do a lot with it, but not with this one yet. Because once I brought it home, started doing some research on it, and to do all the things that I'd like to do, like, for instance, with my PSP, I have ripped all of my games off of the disc and stored them on the memory card. So you can theoretically do that with a Vita. You can just put the PSP games on the Vita with some custom firmware and some homebrew, that kind of thing. But this is on the latest firmware, 3.65, which currently will not allow me to do that. So I'm a patient man. It's kind of stupid though. Like, anytime I get into one of these things where I'm trying to do something technology related that is, let's just say it's in the super user end of things, stuff that your normal consumer of electronics is not going to do. You get into forums, some people are super helpful, really helpful. Like, all they do, it seems like they've already done what they want to do with their systems, and so now they just want to help other people do the same thing. But some people are just like, you should just buy a new Vita if it's 3.65, because it's going to be like 15 to 20 years before they crack this version of the firmware. It's like, you're an idiot. It never takes that long. Unless you're like the Saturn, which wasn't hacked for 2 decades. Because it never was hacked. All you have to do is you find a new exploit and you're golden. So I'm pretty sure the hacking community will find another exploit and I'll be able to do further stuff with it. But in the meantime, I have gotten a few games. So, and it's funny because 2 of the 3 games are ports, but funny or not. So, Final Fantasy X. Thought this would be interesting to have on the go. Plus, I've been kind of looking for a reason to replay it. All accounts played a little bit into it. They rearranged the music. Some of it's better, some of it's actually worse. So it's interesting. Also, there is a code to download Final Fantasy X-2. Guess who's not downloading that?
You.
Me. At first I thought, because according to the cover, it does come with both games. But only Final Fantasy X is actually on the card. So, that's great.
You should just put the code up to the camera.
I already used it. I didn't download it, but I redeemed it.
Why?
Just cause. You never know. I might have someone who wants to play it over. Who knows? Plus, they expire after a while. Why have it go to waste? The second one. It's the Jak and Daxter trilogy. And I have to say, I'm really disappointed. So Final Fantasy X is a remaster of a PS2 game. Higher poly counts, sharper textures. The game looks much better than the PS2 version. This is, and by the way, I didn't realize it at the time, but this is actually the European version of the game. And once I got into, I played a little bit of each game. And Jak 3 They censored one of the first cutscenes, and it makes no sense now in the European version. Like, it just skipped an entire segment of a dialogue exchange. And now it, like, one character's standing over here, and then the next second he's, like, standing over there. I'm like, wait a second. Something's missing here. And sure enough, they censored it. But also, Jak 2 is apparently called Jak 2 Renegade over in Europe. But yeah, here's why it's disappointing. It's a really sloppy port. I mean, I feel like they just took the PS2 version and threw it on the Vita and didn't do any optimization or anything. I believe the port was done by Mass Media, who I've never heard of before or since. But the original game runs like at 30 frames per second. By the way, all the Jak games run at 60 frames per second on PS2. And I'm not that big of a, frame rate guy. But it doesn't make sense for a game to run slower on better hardware. That tells me you don't know what you're doing when you do the port. So yeah, 30 frames per second on the first game. And sometimes it dips even lower than that. The second game, this doesn't make much sense, but the second game, the cinematics, the in-game cutscenes, are much, much better than the first game. They actually run somewhere between 30 and 60 on the Vita. But once you get into the gameplay, things slow back down. Like a lot. Also, there's weird effects. Like in the first cutscene, Jak turns into Dark Jak. And his skin goes blue, has this like bluish tone to it. And then he transforms back into normal Jak. Well, during the cutscene, number one, when he transforms into Dark Jak, there's all this like purple energy like sparkling out of him in the PS2 version. Not in the Vita version. It's completely gone, even though you hear like all these electric sound effects. And then when he turns back into normal Jak, he stays blue. But his character model shrinks back into... It's really weird. And he stays that way the rest of the cutscene. Okay? So just to give you an idea of how bad this port is. And the thing is, this was an instance where I should have probably listened to the reviews, because the reviews all did say, don't get this version. If you really want to play this version, get the one on PS3. But I was like, oh, it's portable Jak and Daxter. Come on. This is going to be great. And the fact that it's running at such a low performance, it's pretty crazy, because it runs about as well as Daxter runs on PSP, and it's similar graphical quality. So, yeah, people didn't know what they were doing. Oh, and the last game I got, which was pretty much the killer app for the system when it launched, is Uncharted Golden Abyss. It is definitely Uncharted. I mean, it's pretty impressive. It's kind of ugly. And I don't know if that's just because maybe the color count is a little bit lower than the PS3 versions of Uncharted, but it's just kind of dark and muddied at the beginning of the game, so maybe if I get in other locations it'll be better. Drake doesn't animate as well. Like, there's definitely frames of animations that are missing. But gameplay is definitely there. And it's fairly impressive. And I've got a couple more games coming next week. And then that's pretty much all the ones that I would want to have on a Vita. Excuse me. But yeah. After having it... Oh, it also came with World of Final Fantasy, which would be interesting to play because they have this Kingdom Hearts-esque art style. And as soon as you actually start playing the game, that goes away. And all the characters just become chibi. and I'm just not into it. So that game's going to be traded in for something else. Not holding on to it. It also came with a case and a 16 gig memory card, which by itself is like $40. So it was a pretty good deal. I do think the Vita was criminally underappreciated. Like, it just seems like Sony tried a couple things. Like, they had an exclusive Call of Duty, which was crap. They had a Killzone game, which was okay. They had the Uncharted game, and it was like, that was it. And then they did the Jack and Daxter trilogy, which is not a good port. Apparently the God of War 1 and 2 collection is on there as well. I have no idea how that did with the reviews. But it seems like that's all the effort they put into it. They put a few original games from some established IPs, and then the rest were PS2 ports that Sony actually had a hand in. And now it just seems like it's the platform to go to for indie games, and that's about it. And you get an occasional release nowadays. And it's stupid because Sony just should have supported it better. And what stinks is that with platforms, it's weird. You have this really good or bad cycle when it comes to systems. So if they sell well, more publishers will want to publish games on it. And the more games that are available on a console, the more appeal it has to those who are buying video games. So if you don't have one, you don't have the other. And that's what happened with the Vita. Like, no one wanted to buy it because there were hardly any games available for it. So really, unless you're really into playing indie games on the go or doing homebrew, it's really not a system that anyone would really want to invest in. And I blame Sony for that, because I think they supported it for like 2 years, and they were done. So maybe it's due to Sony's overall financial issues. They didn't want to put too much. They want to invest too much, because PSP had a rocky start too, but then they kept at it, and then eventually people started buying it. So yeah, it's a cool system, just underdeveloped for